New question. The member from Kitchener-Waterloo.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Premier. On Friday, when the Premier was asked about the 350 workers from A.O. Smith and Fergus that are losing their jobs, she said, "The problem with the manufacturing sector is that we haven't celebrated it enough. We haven't shone a light on it as much as we should. Since last year, Ontario has lost 25,000 manufacturing jobs, and in the past 7 years, we've lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs. Will the Premier admit that the lack of celebrating isn't the problem, but rather that her only job creation plan is just to create more loopholes for corporations like the Royal Bank to lay off workers?"
Minister of Economic Development, Trade and Employment.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade and Employment.
Of course, I appreciate the question from the member opposite, and I know that she would want to join me in expressing the obvious, which is in the case of Ferguson, the job losses are primary concern as the government is for the future of these individuals and their families who unfortunately are being laid off. And so it's important that all of us focus our efforts, of course, on helping these families who have been negatively impacted by the announcement of this closure. And so I should add as well that the Premier, apart from being in Kitchener-Waterloo that day, the previous day, spoke with the leadership in Fergus, spoke with the local member from Wellington, Halton Hills, as in fact did the Minister of Training Colleges and Universities. So this is an issue which is never easy, especially for a town like Fergus that has depended on this particular firm, I know, for more than 100 years. But it's an issue that we're working closely on.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, the people of Fergus don't need our sympathy. They need a plan. They need leadership.
Hear, hear.
Last month, 17,000 more Ontarians found themselves without a job, and youth unemployment is almost double that of the workforce as a whole. But instead of investing in jobs, the Premier seems more interested in creating new tax loopholes for Ontario's wealthiest corporations so that they can cut HST when they wine and dine. Ontarians want to see new job initiatives, especially for youth, instead of new HST tax loopholes for wealthy corporations. Why is the Premier more interested in creating new tax loopholes than creating new jobs?
Minister.
There are so many parts to that supplementary. I'm not sure where you would like me to go on this, but to actually focus on, as you know, and I appreciate the fact that you were also at Communitech on Friday when the Premier and myself were there, and Minister Malloy as well. We were engaging, and I think it was the 11th jobs roundtable that we've had, the Premier has had thus far across the province. We are engaging the leadership, the business leadership, the community leadership, the local chambers to do exactly the sorts of thing that the member opposite is asking us to do, which is to learn how the government can continue to support industries, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's startups like the more than 800 which are being supported through Communitech, which of course is being supported through the Ontario government. So we are concerned about job creation. We've created nearly 400,000 jobs since the bottom of the recession.